You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, fresh off of a UFC 289 spectacle. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not the only thing we have to talk about. The combat sports world was on absolute fire, and the filth that just seems to reside in this sport was all over the place. We had John Gotti not abiding by the referee's rules and starting an absolute chaos brawl in the middle of an exhibition bout that I didn't know was happening. And then we have some more, Teofimo retiring at the age of 25, Amanda Nunes retiring at the age of 35. My name is Matt McSweeney. I am joined by Ty Capone. This is the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. Ty, how are you feeling today?
Pretty fired up. I think I might have to retire as well. There's so many retirements.
I might join them. We might retire this pod.
A bunch of fighters getting cut. Braxton Smith, RIP. I know it was a long 2 months that he had. I didn't even know that could happen, but they got rid of him. Let's be honest. There's a lot. Maria Oliveira on the eve of not telling anybody that she was instead of training for a fight, she was on a reality TV show that she did not even win.
Yeah, that's why I hope you all follow me on Twitter. I took that off the card immediately, ladies and gentlemen, when I saw that tweet.
I can confirm that. Also, would have been nice to know Diana Belbita had a broken foot coming in the fight. So, I don't know if we're really screening these athletes. I feel like Dana's just throwing fights together, and then on fight night, he's like, all right, let's see who shows up.
It seems like it's a real wild, wild west. That's why I do tell you people all the time, do not bet this sport. Do not bet these fights. Betting fighting is a joke. It truly is. You never know what version of who or what's going to show up. Then this guy's got, some disease you've never heard of, and they had to cut part of his bowels out. You're like, oh, okay, but he still fought. He lost. Oh, okay, yeah. So I just lost my fucking money betting some guy who was like fighting for his life before he even got in the octagon. But yeah,
typical.
It was a rough weekend, but first we are going to get into the UFC card from this weekend. Amanda Nunes, Irene Aldana. It seems like Irene Aldana was She put up a good fight, I will say, from the standpoint that she didn't die. She lasted the full 25. She did not get finished, but Amanda Nunes was in the driver's seat this entire time, and it didn't seem like. I guess the reason I am upset a little bit is that she didn't really implement the wrestling the way I thought she was going to. She was taking her down and then letting her back up. And I don't know. I just didn't understand a lot of what Amanda was doing, but I never really understand it. She was just dominating wherever she wanted to. And I think if she really pushed the grappling, she would have probably got the finish. But instead, she goes 25 minutes and then retires in the octagon after cutting her gloves off. And in only Amanda Nunes fashion, it was the weirdest and ugliest retirement speech and everything that we could imagine. She just started naming Anderson Silva and just naming different people. Her legacy is cemented, but she will always be very, very much one of the, I wouldn't say unlikable, but it just seems like I never really cared, man. She was always so good. It just kind of that Mighty Mouse factor where I just don't care.
Yeah, everybody talks about how nice Mighty Mouse was. Dana White loves Amanda Nunes, and he doesn't. There's certain athletes that he loves, like his own children. She's one of them. And a lot of people in general, say good things about her, but which is fine. I don't know her personally. I never will, but like you said, I never really cared too much. There's sometimes she put on lackluster performances. That was more so at the beginning of her career. But she's probably probably the best woman ever. I think that should be not even really up for debate. The other two that you could put up there, she beat, right? She's 3-0 against Valentina.
Yep.
And Cyborg. She also beat
2-0 against Valentina.
2-0 against her, but 1-0 against
Oh, yeah,
Cyborg.
Yeah. No, I know what you meant. My bad.
Also, she beat, now I can't think of her name. She was the best woman ever. Joe Rogan said she could beat Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, Felicia Spencer?
Ronda Rousey. No.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Felicia Spencer as well. Ronda Rousey. Can you believe that she was an underdog against Ronda Rousey that night? I wish I could just go back in the time and absolutely just. I can't believe that was a thing. I would love to.
I probably had Ronda Rousey that night. I probably had a legacy bet on that.
Ronda sub, yeah, I think I might have as well. But just looking at her overall career, I think I see some people saying she's not just the woman's GOAT, but the GOAT. And I have a bit of an issue with that. I think, I have a bunch of issues with that. But going 16-2 in the UFC, man, pretty much, not most of the wins by finish. Taking care of Cyborg in 1 minute, taking care of Ronda Rousey in 1 minute, taking care of Megan Anderson in 1 minute. Three of the best fighters ever, right? So no, but I think at the end of her career, she did run into some problems with just no one to fight, man. She said she wouldn't have retired if this was Juliana Pena. She said she wanted to retire with somebody that she had never fought before. I guess she did know the whole time. She said she knew she was going to retire. I think that happens. I think that's why we didn't see a finish. I guess it wasn't just about complacency. I don't think she was complacent, but she was just focused on getting the win and winning, kind of decisively. I don't think she really cared for a finish. She's done everything she had to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 wins ending her career without getting a finish in either one. I think we have seen her skills kind of deteriorate slowly, a little bit. She's 35, so I don't think there's really anything left for her. Maybe if she wants to come back in a couple of years, if Blanchfield's running shit, or Valentina's still hanging around. Valentina's getting old too, so we're going to start seeing some of these top women start to go away. Like how a couple of years ago it was Amanda, it was Valentina. It was Rose. It was Joanna.
Yeah.
They're all going to be gone, before we even know, which is honestly fucking crazy. But that's how the sport is, man. Time waits for no man or woman. So father and mother time are undefeated. But yeah, the biggest joke was the camera showing Juliana Pena screaming ringside, "You're not Anderson Silva," which she's not wrong, but
yeah, but just shut up.
Just shut up. And talking about how she was on Ariel's show, and she basically said Amanda's dead to me. Like she said Amanda took her moment. I'm like, you're not even on the fight card. What are you talking about? The hell's this your moment?
Her moment because you dropped out of the fight, man. Like that. Let's not forget that. Like this fight was supposed to be you. Yeah, you're right, but you also didn't show up. So you showed up to watch the fight. You were supposed to fight.
You showed up as a spectator.
You didn't get in the octagon. Like. And anyway, if you tried to, she's one of those people like you try to like her, try to root for her, and then she does shit like that, and you're like, oh man, like
she tries to do like a Colby Covington shtick, and it's so bad, and it's not funny. She told Ariel that she wakes up every morning, looks at the mirror, and calls herself champion. That is just so sad, so pathetic. Like,
and also probably not real.
Yeah, it's probably not true at all.
That. It's probably bullshit.
The best moment of the retirement ceremony, I think, was her and Nina's daughter getting in there and running around. I thought that was kind of cool.
That was
like,
cool.
She's absolutely adorable, and she was just running around. Amanda was running around the ring with a beer, and then it was just all getting dumped out. It was very confusing for sure, and I think it was like it kind of just happened. And the reason it kind of just happened as it is because that's Dana's pretty much one of his favorite people ever. Think of all the things that she has done in the UFC. Just in general. Her career, even before the UFC, her career in Strikeforce. She lost her first MMA fight ever as a pro, and then she has some good regional scene wins. Vanessa Porto, Julia Budd. She lost her Strikeforce, I think, debut, if I remember correctly. So she honestly came a long way from the Kat Zingano, Alexis Davis L's that she took. One of her first wins after that Kat Zingano win in the UFC was Valentina. Again, both Valentina fights were close, but she got the win in both, and that's really all you can say. I used to hate on her a lot. I was a big cyborg guy, and then when she absolutely decimated her within, quicker than she decimated Ronda Rousey, I was like, well, I think this is a closed discussion, if you will.
Well, it's when she took that next step from being just a good, one of the best fighters today to being you can't deny she's one of the best of all time, if not the best. she had beat everybody of big name that you put in front of her towards the end of her career. You know, like you said, she had her slip-ups for sure. But, I mean, like you said, you talked about how Dana White loves her. And you're right, because it's for probably good reason. He went from Ronda Rousey, who kind of just birthed the women's division and gained all these new eyes onto women's fighting and mixed martial arts. And then Amanda kind of took the torch and ran with it, right? Like, I mean, she has been holding that torch and running with it since what? The last almost it's how long
10
ago was
years?
that? I mean, the last time her and Ronda fought was what, 16, 17?
Yeah. At the very 2016 was definitely 2016 was like I feel like that year sticks out as like the Ronda McGregor.
Yeah, the end of the old era and the pushing into that sort of this new one that Amanda Nunes was a big part of. I mean, December 30th of 2016. So
wow. I didn't even realize it was the very end of 2016. So like you said, pretty much beginning 2017. Obviously the Eagles won in 2017. 2017 was a great year.
Oh,
2017 was my favorite year in history of living for some reason. I don't know. I always look back at some of my favorite screenshots in my camera roll from 2017. Just remembering sports like the Golden State, Cleveland, 2016, 2017, back and forth rivalry, and just overall sports. 2017, I think, was one of my favorite years. But anyway, back to this fight. Do you think she should have gotten her out of there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
also,
I don't think
how about that right hand?
feet was. Oh my God, yeah, she kind of Juliana
in the
painted
first
her
round.
ass. Yeah, because she had no respect for her.
And then the one problem I do have with Renee in this fight, she didn't go for it at all.
No.
She didn't go for it at all. And then she put out some not stupid, maybe I shouldn't say, but terrible post-fight
statement. Everyone's
statement.
making statements after they lose.
Yeah, I'll be back for sure, 100%. I just had a mental blockage. I'm like, well, you're 35. If you're having mental blockage, I get it. It's your first title fight, but that can't be happening. She hit her with a clean right hand, man, in the first round, and I don't think it hurt Amanda, but it definitely, the follow-up shot could have, and she just didn't even try, and that's what really upsets me about it. And it's sad to see her get a lot of hate, but deservedly so, I guess.
Deservedly so, indeed. But what are you gonna do, man? Amanda Nunes has always been that kind of person. Just you either love her or you absolutely hate her. And I've heard. I mean, people I was talking to were just kind of happy that she retired because they don't They think her fights are. I mean, some of her fights are absolutely boring, and she really hasn't had good matchups. But I can't imagine it's going to get much better after this in that 35 division with, like we said, Juliana Pena being at the top now. Raquel Pennington, Holly Holm. I mean, it's really slim pickings there for any sort of.
What even happened? What do you even do there?
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about Erin Blanchfield kind of throwing her name in that race, sort of I don't feel like waiting. She definitely could be a champion in either one of these divisions. It seems like she has that kind of skill set. Whether she's that, I mean, no one's going to be as exciting or have that sort of aura around them like Amanda Nunes, because I really do believe, even though it hasn't aged the same way, that win against against Ronda Rousey, that's still shown to this day. Every time you see her clips, is her just beating the absolute brakes off Ronda Rousey for 40 seconds, 47 seconds.
Had her hands down the entire time.
Just no respect. Yeah,
and then you saw Ronda doing a bunch of spins and twirls like she's on Disney on Ice, and she's asking Herb Dean what happened.
She had no idea, and that's because a absolute tornado came through the octagon, and that's really the thing that will always be her feather in the cap sort of thing. So whether she comes back or not, I don't know if she will. I have a feeling she's going to at some point because I just think it always seems like that.
Do.
Biggest news was Nina's going to get back in there after she has the kid, which we on this podcast are a big Nina Nunes. No, I'm just kidding, but. No,
we'll fade her.
I don't know really what they're going to do at 35, though. Back to your original question. Juliana Pena is going to be there, and then probably. I mean, are we going to have to watch a Raquel Pennington? That can't even be the main event.
Raquel, she's doing the best of anyone up there. When's the last? She's won what, 3-4 in a row, something like that. She's won 4 in a row.
She deserves it, as much as that pains me.
She subbed Andrade. She beat the rest of the women by decision. That was a while ago, it looks like. Yeah, okay. She subbed Macy Chat. Like, look, if you want to look down the rankings, you'd be like, who can we see, potentially challenge? Chelsea Chandler. Do you think she's a prospect to look out for to make a title run? I don't think so. Irina Alekseeva, she did, do something pretty convincing to Stephanie Egger. That was kind of cool. Tanara Lisboa, I like her a lot. But these chicks are like 5 fights away, There's just not really many. There's like 20 fighters in the bantamweight division. Julia Avila, when she makes her return, is she going to be something? She lost to Sajara Eubanks. Pani Kianzad, Holly Holm. People are talking about Holly Holm and Juliana Pena for the interim belt. And I would just, or not interim, for the new belt, I guess. I just want to throw up thinking of that.
No. That's why I think maybe you're going to see somebody like that from Aaron Blanchfield or somebody from 25 jump up, because there's kind of going to be like a power vacuum now. Like, the people you didn't want to fight at 35 before, you're definitely open to fighting anyone pretty much at that top level, because
one win and you're getting a title shot.
Yeah, it's wide open. It's absolutely wide open. Anybody can you can give a reasoning or tell a story about that, why this person's worthy or that person or this matchup. It really
Manon
is.
Fiorot, Aaron Blanchfield, Tyler Santos. Any of them move up, they could probably fight for it. Tracy Cortez. We haven't seen her in a while. Macy Barber, Amanda Hebos. If any of them move up, they could probably be right there. Win one fight, boom, you're in. Like, that's all it'll take. So
I think especially somebody like Santos, because she's so big, and if she was able to just have that extra 10 pounds.
Tatiana.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works with these women. I don't know if any of them are cutting a lot of weight or who's cutting more than who. But I would love to see Aaron Blanchfield do it, honestly, just because I kind of want to see what happens at 125 with Grasso and Valentina and it's a deeper division, and I do want to see Blanchfield fight everybody. Honestly, she probably could, and if it was up to her, she would be the youngest women's champion if she won the belt relatively soon, I believe. She's what, 23, 24? She can hold 2 belts at once. She's not at an age where she has to, cut a bunch of weight or whatnot. this could be a bit of a dream scenario or a pipe dream.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I could see. Valentina's on her way out. I see Alexa Grasso as a huge. I don't know. I think Blanchfield has a huge advantage over her in the wrestling game. Like, he has that advantage over everybody.
Yeah.
And she's improving her striking. Like, I don't see anybody at 135 giving her a challenge at all. 125, sure, a few people, but I think this is her time to shine. Her next fight, whatever. Does she have one? I don't really know if she does.
Aaron Blanchfield is supposed to fight maybe she doesn't.
I guess we'll see what Dana thinks about her and Pena at 135. I'm sure he would like that.
But I don't know. Like, I feel like he would probably go to one of those
give it
other
to Pennington.
names. Yeah, he would or Holm even, because he loves Holly Holm. I just think he's going to need to see more from an Aaron Blanchfield before she gets a title shot jumping up. She probably would have to win that 25 first before she would go on to do something like that. So man, I really you don't know. Like, Aaron Blanchfield's awesome though. You'll never hear me say a bad thing about her. I believe that she could absolutely pull that off and make it look much easier than it should. I just
the first
what's
legit
actually going to happen
double champ.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, well, that's an argument to be had. But shout out to DC. No, I'm just kidding.
Or women's anyway.
Women's, yeah, no, for sure. Because the 45 division, that belt's just going to go disappear now. There's not.
It's all done right
now.
No more Norma Dumont, Chelsea Chandler, Eileen Perez, Danielle Wolf. No more Danielle Wolf at 145. Zara Dos Santos, your girl. Zara Farron. Guess we won't have to see her anymore. That's sad.
Man, maybe not though. Maybe they can all go to PFL and strengthen one of those divisions somewhere, because there is some good Larissa Pacheco's out there who fight at 55, but there are some good women's fighters at the upper weight classes. It's just
Macy Chasson, hot take, beats
Macy
Kayla Harrison.
All right, come on, man. Come on, we can't be doing that. Let's though. Congratulations to Amanda Nunes, but I shudder at the thought of Juliana Pena and Raquel Pennington being on maybe they somehow make a main event of some card, or because not only it's just, who cares, man, and
that's going to be
fight
so
would be
boring.
so boring. That's the thing. All right, I think we spent enough time. I could ramble on about this all day.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira absolutely makes a statement on Saturday night, taking out Beneil Dariush with, I believe it started with a head kick, and then he just kind of knocked him down with the hands, and then with some vicious ground and pound. You, Ty, were not so sure about Mr. Oliveira taking care of business in this fight. I was lucky enough to win my pretty much only bet of the night on inside the distance for Charles Oliveira. This went exactly how I wanted it to, not exactly how I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, right before they walked out, I had to do something, and I fired 2 bets: Amanda Nunes inside the distance and Oliveira inside the distance. So at least I was able to kind of walk back my non-bet bet, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. I got cooked. It started to kind of go how I thought it would with Dariush taking him down and controlling him for a while.
Yeah.
But then eventually, man, Oliveira just things go from fine to awful so quick with him. Things are going smooth sailing, and next thing you know, you're sinking and you're drowning, and there's nothing you can do when this man has you slightly compromised. Yeah. Nothing. There's just absolutely nothing you can do. Dude, the head kick that he landed was blocked, fully blocked. But the sheer power of it still was able to rattle his fucking head. And then the follow-up rights just land. I mean, dude, he is just the way he comes at you, kind of unorthodox, just so quick from different angles with all different shots, head kicks, knees, elbows, punches, wild hooks, straight shots, jabs. He is terrifying. He is a menace. And he has, the most finishes in UFC history, right? He's just, man, I don't know. He's just one of the deadliest finishers in the UFC has ever seen. The MMA has ever seen, truly. I mean, this is a guy that was not strictly, but pretty much only known for his jiu-jitsu. I forget who tapped him out a long time ago, that he was it was just a very bad name to get tapped out by, looking back on it. I can't, let's see. Was it Nick Lentz? He got knee barred by Jim Miller a long time ago. I think that was surprising. We saw Paul Felder beat the shit, just make him just quit on the ground. Anthony Pettis, I think, guillotined him. A couple other guys finished him, and then he just made this I don't know what happened to him exactly, but just this absolute revival of his career. And I mean, he's just you can only just marvel when you watch him. He is one of the most exciting fighters ever. What you're getting with him. He doesn't fight really that dumb. It's not like he's kind of just a wild brawler, maybe like a Chandler or like a Gaethje. He's not like that. He's very, very technical, very, very precise. Landed 72% of his punches on Beneil Dariush, who is a solid fighter, but just very chinny. We talked about it, very, very chinny. If it happened if Drakkar Close rocked him, what do you think Charles Oliveira could do? And we saw what he could do. We saw what he did. I think both guys looked drained on the scales. They both looked terrible.
Yeah.
Oliveira always does. He was trying to smile and he had like cotton mouth, and it looked bad.
Oh yeah.
But that's always been happening to him. Regardless, you think he should probably be next for Islam, right? They should run it back
for sure.
I don't see why. I don't see how you could deny it. Dana seemed to be completely enthralled with making that fight, so I'm here for that. Honestly, he just gives you the best chance at winning any fight, any moment, somehow.
I've long said that Dustin Poirier is one of the best finishers in the UFC, just because I think when he hurts you, he gets you out of there. Like, he just doesn't stop. Like, he just constant offense, constant pressure until he eventually hurts you and gets you out of there. With Charles Oliveira, it's completely a different animal because, like you said, though, like when he hurts somebody, you can't clinch. You can't do anything. You can't back up. You can't he has an attack for every part of your game. And that is why he has, as years have gone on, become one of the most, if not the most complete fighter, because there's really no facet of his game that you really want to stand with. He knocked out Justin Gaethje on the feet. And many people have fought him and not even hurt him, where they have thrown bombs at him and he's just kind of maybe stumbled a little bit. He dropped Gaethje clean. And then just, no matter what it is, like you said, he is just an absolute murderer. He is an assassin. And you can't deny it from him to give him this Islam fight. The only other option would be if they were to run that Volkanovski fight again. I keep hearing that, but I don't think they're going to do that. Dana's not exactly the kind of guy that likes to just continually hold up his divisions. And he gave you the chance the one time, he came up short. I think Volk's going to have to put a couple behind him before he gets back in there with Islam, which I think it could definitely happen in the future. I just think running it back now would make no sense.
Hey.
And when you have somebody like Oliveira who's right there who could step in.
He's got a year waiting for him, too, so you never know what happens in that fight. As Volkanovski starts to get a little bit older, right? Could be something to monitor. But yeah, I think this is going to be it for Oliveira. It's sad because Dariush was so close; he was right there. But I just don't think he's on that level.
I also didn't like though how people acted like it was so crazy that Dariush was being like touted this much, or that he like Beneil Dariush earned 100% where he was. Like you can't take that away from him. That win against Gamrot. People try to lower these guys as soon as these fights over. Oh, like, well, Gamrot wasn't that good. It's like, well, no, maybe Dariush was pretty fucking good. Yeah, maybe he was just beating him at every skill that he really needed, other than pure just explosiveness and athleticism. Dariush was 100% worthy of his position of where he was. He just ran into a buzzsaw, man, and you can't hold that against him. But Charles Oliveira is the absolute truth. You cannot hold that, or you cannot take that away from him. And I think he is 100% worthy of the Islam fight. But
yeah, look what are you going to give it to Dustin or Justin? Look what he did to both of them.
Yeah,
So yeah, I can't wait for that. You never know. All he has to do is catch Islam, and we'll see. The first fight he got dominated badly, but
I also just think he wasn't a good we kind of talked about that. It's like this guy, the one that fought on Saturday night, didn't show up to that Islam fight. Like that wasn't the same guy. Like I agree with the line though that has been sent that like Islam's like minus 400, minus 350. Like that's what it should be. Like Oliveira is a big time underdog. I just I think it's just you have to do it. No one else is worthy of that. And like you said, you name those 5 people: Oliveira, Poirier, Gaethje, Dariush, Chandler, Fiziev. Like who really is worthy more than him? Of anyone at 55. And then, like I said, Volk, I'm discounting his resume because he just got a chance. So, Mike Malott, guillotine. Listen, this one was a tough one for me because I had a little submission sort of bet, but I also had a bigger bet on TKO. And he hurt him a few times on the feet. It's the old club and sub sort of situation where you run into a tough one. Your Adam Fugit bet on the pod did not go as planned. It just it played out exactly how you in your nightmare scenario it did go, because it was just Fugit does not like getting hit.
Yeah, not athletic. He's big, but just the movement, the quickness of the hands and the just strikes, different level really. He's older. He's like 34, 35. So yeah, Mike Malott, the railing collapsing right in front of him, and him walking by like nothing even happened. I think that was a sign of things to come. He was locked in, and his post-fight speech was pretty good, right? He was the last Canadian on the card, and he had that place rocking. So shout out to him. He can be a contender. He can be a guy. The railing
fell while he was walking out.
Yeah, he like I said, he walked past it like nothing happened. He's like, yeah, fuck that. I don't care. Rogers Center got to get their shit together, huh?
That looked like Veteran Stadium-esque. If anyone out there remembers when the Army-Navy game, they fucking collapsed the railing there. So.
Or at the Wiz Khalifa Snoop Dogg concert in Camden.
Yeah, Camden.
When that
couple niche locations that we both been in attendance at. So, there you go.
But yeah, not much really, happened. Mike Malott got a couple takedowns, got the sub, got the knockdown, pretty much just dominated from start to finish. So shout out to Canada for clinching that sixth win of the night.
Yeah, I got cooked on these Canadian bets, man. I'm upset with myself. It was just a bad decision by me. But some of these I still stand by. Maybe not the Eric Anders or the I guess Miranda Maverick now, but I stand by Arishi Lang. Eamon Zahabi looked like prime Mike Tyson on Saturday night. So Dan Ige, he looked good. He kind of took a little bit of damage though. He was busted up. The fight Nate Landwehr is no joke, but he had enough. He was more technical, more powerful. He was quicker. But Nate was impressive in a loss though as well here, because he got sent to the shadow realm and woke up immediately. So his cardio and his resilience is 100% there.
Yeah, it sucked. Ige went to go finish him on the ground, and then Landwehr was like holding on to his leg, and he couldn't get the finish, which sucked. But hurt him at the end of the second and the third, or maybe the first and the second. I forget. But either way, did what he had to do. But yeah, man, he gets marked up every fight. It seems like he's an old 31. Definitely been,
in
been
a fair
some
share of wars. Yeah.
So that sucks, and I think that's it's gonna catch up to him, man. I mean, Damon Jackson was striking with this guy for a little bit, so definitely something to watch out for in the future. But yeah, he still has that power. Sometimes his volume is a little lower, it seems like, but he also does, I don't want to say gas, but just
doesn't have the best gas tank though. You are right. Like you said, there's Hawaiian guys. Aside from Max Holloway.
Oh, the Max, yeah. Starts to fade, like the third round, Nate was starting to do a little bit, have a little bit of success, but yeah, good win for 50K. Ige did not get 50K, so that's unfortunate, but
could have been worthy of it though for fight of the night. It was up there. It had some competition. There was some good matchups, good fights on this card. I really will be honest. When I shit on a card before, it exceeded my expectations. How about MAB Power Bar? Marc-Andre Barriault getting a unanimous decision over Eric Anders. I thought this was right. What was the scorecards? Is it 2 or is it all 3 30-27s? I don't think.
There was 129-28.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think Eric Anders could have won one of those rounds, whether it was probably the second. I think the first he got clipped and knocked down. The second I thought he won, but I don't remember right now. I know he lost the fight. So
they were all 30-27. It appears.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of a different fight then. So,
but he did do some good thing. He got a takedown.
I thought he was worthy of a scorecard. I think that's what my thought was. That I thought he definitely could have won one of those first 2 rounds. It was probably the second round. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was the second round. The first round he got struck him, but he did get knocked down. The third round he got out almost doubled up on.
Yeah, third
round.
Yeah,
one of the first 2 rounds he could have definitely won. He couldn't get he got one takedown, but he tried a lot, and he just wasn't really close at all, pretty much ever.
No.
His decision to not really punch him with his face, but not defend any strikes. He just wasn't moving his head at all off the center line. So that was tough to see, but it was just a tough, grizzled middleweight grind him out affair,
and really boring for that. So it was, like you said, absolutely grind fest, and no thanks. But good for win for MAB. I was on the wrong side here. Eric Anders is going onto the fade list. I just can't trust him to. I don't understand why he was pushing the grappling as much as he was, because he doesn't. I thought he had the advantage with his speed on the feet and his power. He was throwing some powerful shots. Just kind of gassed out. He really did, and especially in that third round, you could just tell that output had been slowed down tremendously, and he was getting picked apart by Power Bar. So shout out to Power Bar, man. What a nickname. Nasruddin Imavov, Chris Curtis, no contest. Chris Curtis really has a rough go at it, man. Every time out there, there's something's going on. He's either getting headbutted or he's yelling at fans who think that Gastelum beat him, or he's knocking out Buckley, or he's yelling at Hermanson.
He had a run-in with a Twitter troll earlier last week. I saw also at the mall or something. He ran into a Twitter troll of his.
And he knew who it was. Like, he rolled up on him and said,
He's like, I know you. But man, he was taking a
weird.
He was taking a beating, man. Imavov was doing really well. I know they were saying they didn't really want him to try to wrestle. I was kind of fine with Imavov, deciding to switch it up with the grappling. But man, he just so much bigger than Chris Curtis. He looked like a whole weight, not as much as mass, but just being 5 inches taller, looked like a whole, weight class above him. And just, so much quicker. That 1-2 was just landing at will. Even when it wasn't landing, it was still making an impact. Chris Curtis did have to get 10 stitches on a pretty nasty cut on the top of his eyelid, right below his eyebrow. Possible corneal abrasion. He wanted to fight, and they didn't give him 5 minutes, which I'm very confused about. But I guess when you say, I think he said at some point he can't see, and as soon as you say that, they're going to wave the fight off. I didn't hear him say that, but I'm guessing that he did say that. I thought he might have said it to the doctor, and then Herzog heard it, but I'm not too sure what happened. I wanted them to give him 5 minutes, but honestly, there was no reason for that to continue. He was he was already getting his ass beat with 2 eyes. So, honestly, it was a good thing they didn't let that continue. There's really no reason for him to take more damage just to show how tough he is. You know what I mean?
No, I mean it's that cut was nasty. So really, that's just an unfortunate part of these fights. Kind of like when somebody gets poked in the eye, it just sucks. Like I did feel bad for Chris Curtis because it didn't seem like he wanted it to go like this. Our decision bet was looking pretty good, but or at least mine. I think I had, what did I have? Imavov decision plus 180. You had the money line, so we were on our way, but shit happens. What are you gonna do? JSP, sorry, not JSP. JSJ, not her. Jasmine Jasdavicius absolutely dominates Miranda Maverick on the feet and with the hands. Wrong side of this, Ty. It was a one side of the fair for the most part.
Yeah. The strike totals looked pretty close, but I don't know what Miranda Maverick even landed. She was throwing these like left hooks that were like I don't even like overhand lefts when somebody comes. I don't know what it was. It didn't look good. It didn't look pretty. It wasn't pretty. Nothing she threw landed much at all. Jasmine, she does headhunt though. That's for sure. I think that's going to eventually get her hurt. I think she's a little sloppy. She's a little stiff, but she has gotten a lot better, man. I mean, closing the distance, working on her wrestling, and she had 7.5 minutes of control over Miranda Maverick. She looked a lot bigger than her, a lot stronger, quicker. So shout out to her, man. I also, I've been saying her name wrong this entire time. I've been saying Jasdavicius. It's Jasdavicius. So there we go for that. Referee Jaron Vallel went from judge to referee real quick. I love when they do that. That's always fun. But yeah, I mean, Miranda Maverick won the first round, and I saw a lot of people didn't think she did. But if she would have just, had a better third or second round, she could have stole this fight. She really could have, but she just she got outworked. She got out hustled. She got just beat.
Yeah, and it really just wasn't close. So it's just not much to say other than that. I was on the wrong side, and I am just upset that I was on this side, man. This is all right. Ayman Zahabi. I'm already looking ahead.
And now Jasmine's ranked.
Is she really?
But Natalia Silva is not. And they just fought, and Natalia Silva smoked her. So kind of confused about that, but I guess she got that Canada bump, if you will.
Jasdavicius is ranked?
Yeah, I believe she's 15th now.
Oh, no.
If I have that correctly. It's just funny because she fought Natalia Silva not too long ago, and she got smoked. So
yeah, it wasn't really. None of these rankings for the UFC have ever really made sense. They kind of just flip-flop them every week and just give people something to talk about or look at. And now we have a roster watch account who's telling me every time somebody gets cut or somebody's removed from the roster. Ayman Zahabi. Ayman Mike Tyson Zahabi, left hooks and ground strikes, the Mongolian murderer. Another wrong side of should have just bet all the Canadians, would have cashed out sort of bet. And it was just, you were like, oh, man. I mean, 1 minute, this fight was over before it really even started. And, Zahabi goes to 10-2, man. Gets a highlight reel knockout.
I didn't see this one coming, but
no.
What do you get? He caught a kick and just hit him with a clean left hook, and that was it for Mr. Richie Lang. So, yeah.
Kyle Nelson, dominant, pretty dominant win over Blake Builder. Blake Builder just had nothing for him. He was getting hurt. He was getting, I think he got hit to the body and got hurt at one point. It was really a dominant affair for Kyle Nelson as well. Unanimous decision. Yep.
I thought it was kind of funny when Blake Builder was like showboating at the end of the fight. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing here, buddy, but you're not winning.
I was in cruise control at this point because I already knew how this night was going to happen after the way it started. I mean, Steve Erceg looked like an absolute elite athlete on Saturday night against David Dvorak.
How about that?
Dvorak just, I really not that. I mean, I guess he's overrated pretty much. I want to say that because he doesn't really provide you anything on offense, and he's just kind of backtracking the whole time. And he had his moments in this fight, and he has skills, I guess, but it seems like every time he gets out there, he doesn't put them together. And maybe I'm discounting the performance that Steve Erceg had.
No, Erceg looked good. He got 3 or 4 takedowns. He had a Kimura? I could be wrong.
He had a guillotine at one point that was pretty deep in there, honestly.
Jaron Villel, the ref of the next fight, was a judge in this fight. Gave all 3 rounds to Urseg. Not sure about that one, but he definitely deserved the decision, though. I think he did win two of the rounds. He looked good, honestly. I don't know how. I still have an issue with that tall man defense, but to make your debut against David Dvorak and get a win, that's very impressive. So David Dvorak now 3 L's in a row, staring down the barrel of being added to the UFC roster watch account. I don't think he will, but if he's just not going to put it together, yeah, it could happen. So good win for Urseg making his debut. A lot of people were talking about him for a while, and here he is, pretty much now automatically ranked in the flyweight division and gets to keep climbing.
And a real disgusting opening to this main card.
Great fight.
This main card, this pay-per-view event, the prelims. Diana Belbita and Maria Oliveira. Diana Belbita, unanimous decision.
Easy work, baby. Easy work.
Easy bet for you. Thank God I took that shit off my card, man.
That's the only thing I had. So it's funny. Diana Belbita had a broken foot, so she couldn't really throw kicks. Outkicked Maria Oliveira. Maria Oliveira, also has been released. So she took a risk and it didn't work. So now she can go maybe the jungle fight, maybe Combate, maybe Bellator. Could happen.
We got cooked. To be honest, man, we got cooked. This was a rough night for us, but we will be back next week with the bets. Charles Oliveira wins performance of the night, 50,000. Mike Malott, 50,000. But Anders and Barriol being the fight of the night. I don't know if I agree with that, but you can't. I don't really get upset about who's making this money. It's not my money. And Steve Ursig gets 50,000, which good for him. Definitely
who doesn't get
to make this fight or to take this fight.
50,000.
Oh.
Or who doesn't get their win bonus is Nasruddin Imavov. Just unfortunate. Half of his purse that he should have and would have gotten does not get
distributed.
Just UFC, just how that UFC contracts work. How those contracts work, baby. Also getting released after this fight. Like I said, Maria Oliveira, you're done. Braxton Smith, he's done. Martin Sano, our boy, easy cash. Easy bet to cash when he's fighting. He's gone.
It's always sad when you see these money makers just leaving the octagon, man.
A couple other ones I forgot about that I didn't see. Takashi Sato, Don Shainis, your man.
No.
Yeah, Bia Malecki. We've been talking about her for a while. She got CTE from one knockout loss to Minnie Nunes. She's done. Journey Newsom, Maxim Grishin, Eric Gonzalez, Nick Fiore, Orion Kosuke. Just some of the names that have been released within the past week or so.
I think that all is fair. I didn't hear a name in there where I said, "Oh no," it's.
Yeah, the only one I would say of ones that were released lately is Tony Gravely. I was kind of surprised they let him go.
Oh wow, yeah.
But then Trevin Jones, Omar Morales, Lear Latifi, can't be mad at that. They've also added an Irish chick. This is probably gonna be your favorite fighter ever, Miss Shauna Bannon.
I saw that.
Apparently she's pretty good though. I'm seeing some hype. She's a good follow on Instagram. She trains and works hard, if you will. Just adding on to the Irish legacy. Once they're going to release Connor and bring her in, so I think that's a good idea. Replace the Irish has-been with the future Irish star. I'm
Gary,
all for
the future, you mean? You're talking about Ian Gary? I know you're how big.
Ian Gary Machado?
You had your Irish flag put up and you were waving it out your window last time Ian Gary got in there. But
fun fact, I was the fan that confronted him in the parking lot.
That's a crazy video. Some dude just talking.
Yeah, I can't believe telling a professional fighter who's quite literally undefeated that you would beat them the fuck up. That's very bold.
Yeah, man. But the guy was trying to catch a quick W on the street, so you can't.
Hey, he got some street cred, I guess.
How about Teofimo calling it quits? He pulls the upset over Josh Taylor, right? I mean, reports have told me he looked great. I didn't get to see the fight, but
the scorecards for some reason had it 7-5, 7-5, and like 8-4. When I don't even know if Josh Taylor won more than 2 rounds. So it's funny because Josh Taylor won the first round. He came out, looked good, used his length, was throwing a lot of hooks. But I think Teofimo, after the first round, also Teofimo's dad was like, figure him out, figure him the fuck out. And he's like, I am, relax. Did you ever see that ESPN video or interview with him and Mark Kriegel? and him and his dad are like arguing the whole time. And that was a fucking train wreck. And then he starts yelling at Mark Kriegel, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not helping anybody who has concerns for Teofimo Lopez's boxing career just because of the outside the ring stuff. And then he retires after putting on one of the best performances of his career. I mean, he was a huge underdog. Honestly, the odds the money kept coming in on Josh Taylor. And I'm surprised I didn't at least take a chance on Teofimo, given how he looked against Lomachenko before and how Josh Taylor was pretty much coming off a loss against Jack Catterall, where Catterall got robbed. But he looked so much quick. He's such a unique fighter, Teofimo is. I don't think you would ever teach anybody to fight the way he does. I mean, he's just sitting on the outside and leaps in, goes to the body, goes up top, so quick, so just, he fires from all different angles, throws all these different shots. Both men fell, slipped multiple times in this fight. No knockdowns, I believe. He hurt Josh Taylor to the body, hurt him to the head. He just looked fucking awesome, man. He looked really good. It was kind of tough to watch. There was three things going on at once. Jaime Munguia, Sergey Derevyanchenko. They had arguably the fight of the year on at the same time. Half of that fight was pretty much over with before the Teofimo fight started, but then the UFC was on, so I had all the TVs, all the laptops and whatnot working. It was tough, but Teofimo looked amazing, and then he was talking about how I could retire, and I'm like, whoa, let's slow down that talk. I want to see you fight all the other guys, right? There's so many fun fights to make if Teofimo's on his game. That just makes that 140 division so much better. That 135, 140, 147 run of lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight. But then the next morning goes on. I don't know if he was on ESPN. He was on some show, and he announced his retirement. At the ripe age of 25, he has for now.
Yeah, nobody believes this.
Called it quits. I would love to see him be active. So if he's going to unretire, I'd like to see it happen within a year because ring rust is real. But however, with Teofimo Lopez, we can get just inconsistent versions of him pretty much all the time. So I don't know what to make of it at all, but I don't know what to make of anything in his career. I would love for his father to shut up for once, but kind of like Ortiz, with Victor Ortiz's father, or Danny Garcia's father. I'm sorry, that'll never happen.
Yeah,
so
it's a part of it.
Yeah, that's just something we're gonna have to live with. But yeah, good. I mean, just best win of his career, and then switching over to the fight was it on DAZN with Jaime Munguia and Sergey Derevyanchenko? Yeah, it was biggest win for Jaime Munguia. And honestly, Sergey Derevyanchenko, just another. I thought he beat Triple G when they fought a couple years ago, but he's just one of those guys that fights everybody close and just loses a split decision or just loses a unanimous decision. He got knocked down in the 12th round. I think that's really what did it for him. Sadly enough. So big fight. Jaime Munguia, he's been he was a top prospect at 154. He's always been a weight bully, though, I think his problem was. But now at 168, he has a Mexican base behind him. I mean, he just gets hit so much and so cleanly. He has one of the best chins in boxing, but you got to figure he fights David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Canelo. He's going to get fucking clotheslined. But still, just a good night of boxing, which is always fun.
Not to mention the Floyd Mayweather masterclass that he put on against John Gotti III. Can you tell me what is happening in the? I mean, listen, for most of you people out there, including myself, I've only seen a clip of the ref. I believe it was Kenny Bayless, right? Kenny Bayless. This is an exhibition, correct? Right. This isn't a real fight.
Yeah, it's all John Gotti III is an MMA fighter with a 5-1 record.
And I guess he's stopping the fight. And John Gotti III does not agree with the decision. And he decides to keep the fight going and, basically jukes out Kenny Bayless and starts throwing hammers on the other side of the ring. And then all these people jump in, and it is absolute chaos in this clip.
Yeah, just a bunch of... And then there was... Did you see the video of the... I think it was a TMT, the money team member, or friend of a friend, got into a fight with a Team Gotti representative.
Great.
By the entrance, it looked like.
Great.
The money team member did not fare well. There was like 30 John Gotti family members, made men. Just a lot. I mean, when you have Floyd Mayweather, also the sister of John Gotti III, taking to Twitter to say some pretty racist things about Mayweather, about just everything. I'm trying to find them now. I mean, I think when this fight got announced, everyone's like, Floyd Mayweather and a grandson of a mobster. A son of a mobster, right? Wasn't his father in the mob? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I haven't I haven't kept up with all this nonsense for the most part. I can't believe
Nicolette Gotti. She sends a bone-chilling threat to Floyd Mayweather's daughter.
Oh, great.
Yaya Mayweather, who, by the way, is in a relationship with NBA YoungBoy. There's a lot going
there are
on.
people listening to this who are like, what in the fuck are you guys talking about?
His sister said, your daughter was ran through by an animal with 12 different baby mamas. Your little circus animal. I mean, this is wild. You're all a pack of zoo animals.
Oh,
I swear on my kids, I'm coming for your daughter. It may be 2 years, 3 years from now, but I'm coming. C-U-N-T. See you next Tuesday. She put that on Instagram, on her Instagram story, calling his daughter a see you next Tuesday. And then John Gotti III also said that they now, this will never be over. So they're going to have a rivalry until somebody goes to the grave. I'm kind of concerned.
I believe they brought McGregor into this, who has said that he stands with the Gottis. So,
no way. Get out of here.
Look that up, dude. I'm telling you.
The war is on. Conor McGregor backs John Gotti III. I can't say I'd be mad if you're going to choose a side. I mean, I don't think Conor McGregor has to choose a side in this.
No, he doesn't. But listen, he probably has no idea what's even going on. He probably just saw this happening and he saw Floyd Mayweather in it, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck Floyd. I'm against no matter what. He's against Floyd."
I back the Gottis. Yeah, I think I might too. If any member of the John Gotti crime family is calling me an enemy for life, I'm pretty scared. I'm pretty terrified. So, I mean, Floyd Mayweather could also just, that guy shits out $1 billion like it's nothing. So, he could also just, pay off whoever. We could have a nice civil war here.
You know what? No, let's leave it in the ring, boys. All right, why don't we just run it back? What was the fight even stopped for?
Well, the whole fight they kept holding each other. They both kept holding, and Kenny Bayless told them to stop, and they wouldn't stop. So he kept telling them to stop, and they just wouldn't. It was pretty much a backyard fight, and Kenny Bayless somehow had to try to be the referee of it, and they didn't stop. So he disqualified both of them. Which I have not really seen ever, but it was also an exhibition match. So I'm a bit confused. But also, did you see the right hand that Floyd Mayweather landed on Mr. Gotti III when he came at him once the fight was over? Oh, man, he hit him with a right hand, and he went from one corner to the other corner. He backed up quick. Also, there was just so many people involved. It was really hard to see.
All these people jumped in there, man.
See what's going on. But Floyd actually got a nice little bruise, a nice shiner. So somebody hit him. I'm sure a bunch of people hit him. Nicolette Gotti sending threats to his daughter, who's with NBA YoungBoy.
Floyd to stop doing this stuff. Like, I have begged him to stop doing these freak show events. But, I mean, he's still getting paid, so I can't be mad at the man who's constantly making this kind of money, which I don't, again, let me specify. I don't know who's watching these. I don't know who's paying for these to watch these. I have not once. I can't remember the last time since he fought that Japanese fellow on New Year's Eve, Tenshin Nakusawa. Since he did that, I haven't watched this man he's beat the shit out of everyone because he's just fighting random people now. They're like, I want to fight Floyd Mayweather, and he's like, okay. Like,
apparently, let's see. This seems to be off. It's like you said though. He's going to Asia, to Asian countries, and fighting Asian fighters in like a basement of like some building, and I'm like, that seems, what if you do the wrong thing or piss off the wrong person? You might not leave that area. You're going to go to the Middle East and fight somebody. You better watch.
He fought in like Abu Dhabi. He's going to fight on a helicopter pad.
On a helipad. He was going to, but Mr. Bob Johnson, whatever that fellow's name was, had to pull out. or whatever.
Well,
And then he's fighting
the Sheik.
mob members.
Rest in peace to the Sheik, I think.
Yeah,
he pieced out. Not the Iron Sheik. Whoever the
the Iron Sheik is dead.
Yeah, well, he is dead. Rest in peace to the Iron Sheik. But some.
Oh, you're talking about the other. Oh, that Sheik.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you meant now. Yeah, he died right before. Yeah, he ruined the fight, if you will.
He did. Yeah, some people have said that.
Also, apparently, this. I don't think he was receiving this much money for this Gotti fight. Yeah.
Can't imagine. That's what I'm wondering. Every time I hear about these payoffs, I'm like, who is sponsoring these events?
$25 million for Conor, and I think Mr. Gotti $20 million, which I find very hard to believe. But
he's probably making much less off these fights just because nobody's buying the pay-per-views. Like, I know there's no way people are paying. Like, what was this on?
It was on the Zeus Network.
See, like, what are we doing, Floyd? You used to be the fucking box office main attraction, and now you're fighting John Gotti III in some hole in the wall somewhere, and these brawls are breaking out between you and the Italian mob. Come on, Floyd.
Yeah. They fought in Florida. Color me surprised that this happened in Florida. Poor Kenny Bayless. I mean, he probably caught some bows.
I'm sure they were going after him too. People. It's just an insane. The announcer's going, whoa, 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 whoa. Doesn't even know what to do. Like, oh, he's still throwing. Nothing will beat. Come on, man. He's at the ring. But I think I'm legally obligated to bring that up once a pod. I think
the soundboard is on the way.
It has
to. The soundboard is on the way.
The Florida Live Arena is where this went down. And in beautiful, where is this? Sunrise, Florida, like you said?
Yeah.
How many does it hold? How many we got in here?
Wow. As many mob members as you can fit.
20,000. This is a legit arena. Oh, this is where the Panthers play?
I think so,
yeah. This is where the Panthers play. They just besmirched that arena in the middle of the Stanley Cup Finals. But.
They're probably going to get smoked by the Golden Knights.
Your Vegas Knights are getting it back at it tonight. So
yeah, unfortunately. But all of that happened. All the fighters got. Listen, there was a lot that happened. It might have been not a huge headline weekend, but I mean, there was a lot. Izzy said he will fight Alex Pereira again if Alex Pereira wins the 205 belt.
Would never give him the shot if I was Alex Pereira.
Yeah, I would tell him to go fucker, or tell him to move up to 205. Imagine 205, Izzy and Alex.
No, that's what I'm saying. He wants him to win the belt at 205, and then he'll fight him at 205 for the belt. I would not do it.
Yes. Yeah, I would say no.
I'd tell him to get bent.
Fight Chocolate. Yeah. Get Chocolate L in there. Jesse Bronson, former UFC fighter, you said he was going to make a run at the belt. He says doctors don't check feet when going through medical checks before a fight. That explains Diana Belbita just walking in there with a smashed foot. So
it was not a check.
Conor McGregor also.
Me foot was a balloon.
Jimmy Mano Jr.
What?
He says he wants to get in the ring with Hasim Rahman Jr. Oh, boy. Misfits Boxing. That fight will be coming up shortly. Stay tuned for the date of that. GDR says she's coming back after pregnancy. You know how that auto pregnancy fade works. So we'll have to see what she does. Chris Weidman. This was good. This is actually bad. Man. He's getting back in there. He says he's going to throw the hardest leg kick in his life when he returns. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I'm hoping it goes well. He's fighting Brad Tavares, correct?
Yeah, and Brad Tavares, we've talked about him before. He couldn't finish his dinner, but
Jesus Christ.
I think if Chris,
come on.
I think if Chris Weidman comes in there after 3 years off and having his leg explode into 5 million tiny little pieces and get put back together. Now, if he wants to throw a leg kick, do what you want, Chris. Do what you want. I think I might have to bet Brad Tavares in that fight. But geez.
Yeah, could use some nice odds on that. I don't know. What's that, 292? Is that not till the end of July?
Yeah.
That's when that card's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see that. But
or is that 291 the one that's the end of July? Or 291 is Volk, right? Or no, that's 290. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe I don't know.
292 is in would be September then, yeah?
I guess.
Or August, I'm sorry. Jeez.
I have no
I'm having a nice meltdown here. No, yeah, it is 292. that will be in Boston on August 19th. Aljo, Sean O'Malley, if that even happens, because Aljo's like, wait a minute, I didn't consent to this. I didn't even sign the contract. Wei Lee and Amanda Lemos, Weidman. So we're going to have Weidman and Garbrandt on the same card. Wow. That's two nice fades on one night, if you will.
Let's cash it in, ladies and gentlemen. We have a card this upcoming weekend, Vettori and Jared Cannonier. 14 fights to talk about, so hopefully some of these stay available for this. Emmett and Topuria was supposed to be on this card, but they rescheduled that to another time, I believe. So
next week.
Is that what it is?
That card's pretty good too, honestly. I mean, Cedric Dumas is on the main card, and that's just that's something. But Amanda Hebos, Macy Barber, Brendan Allen, Bruno Silva, Neil Magny, Phil Rowe. Austin Lane, former NFL legend, is getting in there. Randy Brown is buried on the prelims. How about that?
So it's
I guess
an
that'll
ABC
happen.
card.
Yeah, anything but close. Trevor Peek's getting back in there, baby. You know how we feel about him. Tatsuro Taira, I think this is where the hype train ends. Clayton Rodriguez is going to get it done. He probably won't, but I think he will.
That's a nice matchup. This is going to be a really good card. Wow.
Jack Jenkins, our boy, against Jamal Emmers. That's going to be a good fight, too. Honestly, this card is good. Usually when they go to another city, which... Listen, I'm kind of tired of the Apex, right? Like, if you would have gotten rid of this this card that's coming up this weekend and maybe the one that's coming up on July 1st with Sean Strickland and it looks like Yana Santos and Macy Chasson's going to be the co-main, which is just, Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's getting back in there?
The Kevin
Have
Lee?
my eyes deceived me? He's fighting Rinat Fakhratinov, it appears. Yeah.
They fucking hate
But
him.
if you were to... If you were to just get rid of some of these fight night cards and somehow allocate those fights to other cards and maybe I don't know, not sign as many goddamn fighters, you'd have much better product. I don't love the Apex, man. It was cool at first, but now I'm just over it. I'm over there being there 24/7. But this is where we're at.
It's where we're at, and like you said, I think I wish they could do less events and go on the road more, because then they're forced to actually put on a good show and make it worth their while to actually sell tickets. That's why those ABC cards they really do show out for some reason. I mean, I get they want to make it worth ABC and ESPN's while, but I feel like you said, like they have an Apex ESPN Plus event, but this past weekend, you're not seeing shit, or not this past weekend, the weekend before. You're not getting anything good, man. So,
yeah. Also, I think this card this weekend starts at 7, right?
Yeah.
That is a long. So if the card itself starts at 7, there's 14 fights. My math that I failed as a sophomore in high school tells me that the card might go until like 1 a.m. That is just.
Easily, yeah.
I don't know what to. I don't know. I mean, maybe am I not? Yeah, I'm not doing anything that night, so I'll be watching. So that's going to be fun. 1 a.m. Catch me watching Jared Kennedy. I think Jared Kennedy loses this one fairly easily. What do you think?
I think, Vettori is just that guy who you really can't get rid of. He continually dominates any of these guys that you put in front of him. I think Cannonier's probably only path to victor would be cracking Vettori and getting him out of there, but I don't know if he really has that in his game. Vettori, it has like a crazy
blockhead.
chin.
Yeah, his head's made of Italian bagels
Jesus.
that have been hardened for 500 years. So, but he did get cracked in his last fight, correct? Against Mr. Vlismus. I thought he got cracked at one point, but that was pretty much it. We're starting to see his durability slowly wear down, but I mean, he fights such a meatball style that it's just not conducive for a long career. I mean, he's getting wins, right? Middleweight is not a great division, but I just don't see the long-term potential. Also, I don't see the point in making him a headliner for a card, but
because he's a boring fight. I mean, 7 decisions, 2 subs, so in your whole UFC career. So listen, I'm not that excited about the main event necessarily. I probably, as it sits now, might bet Cannonier just because I think that number would probably be good. I don't know if it's a good bet. I wish I could do like a half unit or something like that, but
yeah,
we don't do half measures here on the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. It's very close, -110, -110. So we will have a whole discussion on this, ladies and gentlemen. On Friday afternoon, we will release another pod for all of your listening pleasure. This has been the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. Ty, tell the listeners how thankful you are for them.
Very, very thankful for you guys listening to us break down the Gotti family war that they have going on with the Mayweather family. Very excited to dive into that and see what happens next. Right, there has to be something that happens soon.
Oh, we'll be
the
locked
Gotti
in.
family they usually act quick. So I don't know. Who knows? But thank you all for sticking with us, bearing with us. I don't think we have any boxing coming up this weekend. But no, actually, I believe we do. I don't think it's anything big though, if I recall. If I remember correctly.
Listen, man,
this will be the 17th. Yeah. What do you think?
I think the money team should beef security up. I think they need to They need to beef security up. But they don't know what kind of war they just started with the Gotti family because they apparently are at war, enemy for life, and they have Conor McGregor on their side. So, what's next?
Seriously, what is next? Is Kenny Bayless? What side is Kenny Bayless going to join? That's what I'm wondering. If I was Floyd, Floyd has always been walking around with these big security guys that are like 6'9", 375 pounds of granite steel, right? Just monster humans. But what happens if somebody brings a 12-gauge shotgun up to Mr. Security member? I think he's going to shoot them, and I don't think those muscles are going to stop anything. I think he needs to hire top flight security. I think he needs. Have you seen Sean O'Malley shoot a gun and do a hip thrust with it? I know you saw that video, right? I think Floyd needs to hire Sean O'Malley. I think Sean O'Malley can do some work with the gun, if you will. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go watch Sean O'Malley shoot an assault rifle in an empty field and also do some nice hip thrust at the same time. That's the guy that can end this war. But he might take the Gotti side. So tune in.
I guess we're gonna have to start polling people and asking them whose side they're on this war because it could be the start of a World War III, where you just
people worried about Russia and China. I'm worried about John Gotti III.
You don't want to be on the wrong side of history, man. These guys could start a nice, All right, enough. I can't do this anymore. Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. We'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for listening.
Peace.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.